Hello everyone, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Sammy. My artist name is Blondie. And today's video, as you can tell by the cover, I'm finally making my stickers. I am so freaking excited for this. It's not even funny. I haven't been able to progress in my shop because the one thing I'm missing is the stickers, which is like the main seller. So I finally purchased the Siser Juliet cutting machine. So essentially the Siser Juliet, so it's Siser, I-S-I-E-R. This is their description on the website. It says it's a high definition cutting machine capable of cutting the finest details in a variety of materials. Juliet is designed for all Siser heated transfer vinyl and the easy PSV decal vinyl via the pre-installed cut settings, but works superbly with other materials such as cardstock, stickers, craft foam, and so much more. You can cut materials up to 12-inch wide using the included cutting mat, or you can go matless using like long rolls of paper. It gives you the freedom to create on your terms and with the materials you're already familiar with and use on a daily basis. So I purchased this cutting machine a couple days ago and I've been waiting for it to come in. It doesn't come in until tomorrow. I'm so freaking excited. I also purchased my sticker paper and matte laminate. So it's gonna come tomorrow and I'm hoping I can kind of get the design studio set up. So the Leonardo design studio is what comes with the Siser. I think it's probably the equivalent to like the Cricut design space. The reason I went with the Siser instead of the Cricut is because the Siser seems a lot more like industrial, I suppose. Like you can crank out a lot more work in less time. It's faster, it's quieter. You don't have to recalibrate it, at least from what I've seen. I've seen a lot of people saying that their Cricut will like, you know, if you're cutting a circle sticker, it will like slowly start like cutting off a little bit. So then I think I've watched a lot of TikToks about this, and I saw one that said like every like 1 in 4 stickers would be like slightly like askew, slightly off, slightly like not cut correctly. They would have to recalibrate after like every 20 sheets. It just didn't seem like in the long run that would be the best use of time, material, money, anything like that. So I really just decided to go with the Siser. Yes, while it is almost $500, which was like crazy to just be like spending when I haven't even made a single cent from this business yet. I would rather go into it with the best quality like machine than waste a bunch of product, money, time, and just end up getting the Siser later on. So I purchased the Siser Juliet and I am super excited to start using that, and I'll give you guys a little like unboxing video once I receive it tomorrow, and I'll kind of go through like the instructions, what it comes with, all those types of things. But yeah, that's kind of all that I have for like the time being. I have not really worked at all on my business just because, again, I'm just waiting for this machine. So when it comes tomorrow, I'm gonna be like a little kid on Christmas. I will be stalking the Amazon driver, following his every route, and the second it gets delivered, I might just take it straight out of the Amazon driver's hand. Truly, I might meet him at the door, actually. I am so excited. So yeah, but I did purchase my sticker paper and laminate, which I'm so surprised came literally within 24 hours. Yeah, both of them came the next day, which was crazy. And the Juliet is gonna take a little bit longer to get here, which is totally fine. But once it comes tomorrow, I'm probably gonna spend a good chunk of my day figuring out how that works. I've heard it's pretty simple though, so that should be nice because the Leonardo design space that it comes with, I've heard is like super easy to navigate. It's very beginner friendly. It's a pretty user friendly interface. But yeah, we will look more into that tomorrow, but I am so excited to finally get it tomorrow. Okay, little like midway check-in. I finally figured it out. I spent a long time, I like wasn't even recording because I could not figure out how to make the stickers get cut out like correctly. Like for example, like on this one, it would like start like right here and it would start cutting them out. So it would like, it wouldn't be correct. I also couldn't figure out how to get it to read the registration marks. I will walk you guys through it and like show you the settings that I have and just like all that kind of stuff. But real quick, so I use Procreate to make my stickers. So for the Leonardo Design Studio, you have to, and I mean, I haven't tried this with anything else, but I've made them all like PNGs with like I just export it like without the background. So just like this, export like that. And I'm sure there's a way to do it in the design studio, but I just find it easier to do it like this. I pre-outline my stickers so that when I put it into the design studio, it automatically can just outline it for me. I'll show you with a new sticker. So I just outlined this one. I'm not sure if I'll keep it blue or not. I kind of like this like dark blue color. So I'm gonna go ahead and send that to my iMac as a PNG with no background, and then I'll show you what I do from there. Okay, so you're gonna start by opening up Leonardo Design Studio, hitting File, and then Import. You will import your PNG again with a transparent background. Skip the first page, and then when you go to Next, this is just gonna be the smoothing level. So this is just gonna be how smooth the outline of your sticker is. I usually do around 80. You'll hit Next again, and then on here, you're gonna wanna include contour bleeds. So this is just if it does start to cut off, it will add that protection around the outside. And then you're just gonna arrange them on your artboard. I do try and make all of my stickers at least 2.5 or 3 inches on one side, just to make them all consistent in like how large they are. And then I just arrange them on the artboard and try and fit as many as I can. The registration marks that you can see, they sometimes turn red. That's because you can't go outside of those borders, which kind of sucks because I do feel like there's a lot of paper that does get wasted. So I fit as many as I can on the artboard, and then once I find one row that fits enough, I just copy and paste the entire row. Now you're gonna see me make a couple small ones. This is just because as many as I wanna fit on the artboard won't. So I make a couple like small ones because once I start doing pop-up markets and art fairs, art markets, things like that, I do want to be able to make like little 3-packs. I honestly might even put them in my shop opening on August 1st. I want to make a 3-pack of almost like mystery stickers. So they'll be like, I'm pretty sure I make them like 1 or 1.5 inches, like at least on one side. So that's just what I do to kind of use up the extra space on the artboards. For these ones, I did end up cutting them a little bit too small. So while I'm practicing right now, I do find myself kind of wasting a lot, which is part of practicing, but it does kind of suck that I'm going through so much product just to practice. So the stickers are perfectly fine. I just think they're a bit too small. So honestly, might just hold on to those. And again, once I have an art market or something, just make them like clearance or something. Maybe just put them on sale, something like that, just so I can still gain something from those, even though they're not like A-grade products. So yeah, that is what I do for my artboard. So now you are going to send design. So you're gonna be sending this to the printer. The top page on the left is gonna be what's getting printed. The bottom page on the left is going to be your cutting contour. So you can see here, I move it around. If you do that, I don't believe it's gonna cut correctly. So just not touch that option. I did kind of go in and move these around a little bit just because I did notice that the cutting contours were overlapping just a little bit. That's something that you definitely want to look out for when cutting, because you'll ruin an entire page if you just don't do that last little section of just double checking. So yeah, now I am gonna send this to the printer and I will show you guys now how I laminate my sheets. Okay, now that I have them all printed out, I use matte laminate sheets. So I'll kind of show you how I put them on. They just look like this. And I'm gonna start by just trying to peel back. Okay, the next thing I'm going to show you is the actual settings that I have for these stickers. So when it turns on, the light turns on, you have this little like touchpad area. So if you go to settings, cut settings. So if you go here, it comes with all these preset cutting types. I personally made my own. I made die cut and kiss cut. So I'm going to use die cut for this one. So the cut speed I'm going to put at 12, force 56. I don't know why it just jumped up all that way. Perfect, and then you hit that. Okay, I'm going to do my best to kind of show this to you guys, but the Siser comes with this cutting mat. It's got a plastic thing on top of it because this is sticky. So take your sheet. Oh. This just holds it down so it can cut better. And then you just line it up in the corner. Okay, so you line it up just like this. And then this is the part that I struggled with the most, was figuring out how to calibrate it. So it's kind of frustrating because I feel like the instruction manual doesn't really like tell you a whole lot of like how to do it, I guess. But yeah, so then let me show you real quick. Okay, so when you close this, at the very back, there's a little lever. So the back over here is a lever. You lift this up, and that's gonna lift these rollers. So if I open this up, I'm gonna go ahead and slide this in. And there are these arrows right here, so that you kind of want to keep it on the right side of the arrows. So you'll bring it in. And then this right here is the actual needle. So this is where I was super frustrated. I'm gonna put the clamp down. So then you can use the touch screen over here to move this in and out. The left and right moves that. So I'm gonna move it all the way down, and then you want your needle to be placed sort of around this area because there's a little camera under here, and that's what reads the calibration for all these corners. So it has to read the first one correctly in order to keep going. If it can't read the first one, it's just going to start beeping and just like not cut. Sometimes it will cut, which is a little frustrating because then it's like wasting paper. So I'm going to move this over. Okay, I think that's probably good. So I'm gonna go over to my computer, and then you're gonna go back to this page, and then you'll just hit send to cutter and hit okay, and it will start calibrating the corners. There's a little red plus. It's reading the calibration of all four, and now it's just gonna start cutting. That is it. So then I'm gonna lift up this crank at the bottom. There is this little button right here. So if I move this back out, if you touch this button, it's basically gonna like send it back to home. I don't really know. So I'll take that out. So now you can just peel this up. And that will leave you with your stickers on there. This is how much is left. I feel like there's so much paper around like the sides that doesn't get used. I don't know if there's a way to like recalibrate the corners to be like further out. I tried looking into it, but I can't really seem to like find many answers for that. So next, and again, I had to figure this out the hard way. Don't bend this really quickly. It will break. Just because it's like this, I don't know how it snapped. Cause like this can bend like that. Now I wouldn't. This one's obviously messed up. You can tell I clearly have had some practice rounds. But yeah, this just like snapped on me, so I had to get another one. They're only like $15, so like it wasn't a huge deal, but I was just like kind of bummed that I ruined it. You will bend them ever so slightly, and they should kind of start to peel up from kind of like that. They'll start peeling up a little bit, and then you can take them off. I bought this just from like Michael's to, you know, do my like laminate. You can just use like a credit card or something, but I just figured a tool would be better. And then I also bought this, which is also a Cricut tool. If I can't get the sticker off of the mat, I can use this and kind of like, that kind of will help pick it up. I bought this because when I first started practicing, I made a lot of mistakes. And so the cutter was like cutting all over this. So then like this wouldn't come up as just one sticker. It would be like a lot of little pieces. So I have that now, which hopefully I won't have to use a whole bunch, but it's easier than using my tweezers to like pull them all out. So yeah, I'm just slightly bending it like this to get those off. And then I'm pretty sure you can wash these and it'll like restore the stickiness. So that's pretty nice. I don't have any animals, but if you have animals, I would suggest keeping them away from this because I can imagine hair gets stuck in this very easily. Like there's like, you probably can't even see it. it's so little, but there's like a bunch of like little like fibers just from like my clothes. So when I'm done using this, I just put this plastic sheet right back on it just to keep like, again, hair, clothing fibers out of it. But yeah, that's essentially how I make my stickers. These ones came out so cute. So here's how they came out. Super cute. And then of course, I have the little ones. But yeah, that's how I make my stickers. The laminate just helps to make them, I'm pretty sure it's UV resistant. So like you could put them on like, I feel like you could low-key put these on your car as like a bumper sticker. UV resistant, water resistant, like weatherproof. Yeah, they're like so high quality. Like I'm like, I made that, like that's insane. But yeah, so that's how I make my stickers. If you have any questions, definitely just like leave them below, because I hope I covered everything. But again, I was super confused starting out. So if you have any questions, I would love to answer them. But yeah, that is all for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Definitely let me know if you're thinking of getting a Siser, or if you have one, what you use it for, because you can literally cut anything with a Siser. I like just can't think of like projects that like I could do with it yet. But yeah, if you have a Siser or a Cricut, definitely like let me know like what you use yours for. If you also make stickers and you have little shortcuts or like tips, tricks, anything like that, of course, I'm always open to critique. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.